You sit in your room, phone in hand, mind buzzing like a swarm of restless bees. Every decision, big or small, becomes an ongoing mental debate, making it easy to get lost in your thoughts. You replay conversations from last week, imagining every possible outcome, every unintended slight, every misstep. And just when you think you've reached an answer, your brain pulls you back into the loop, whispering, maybe you missed something. You've learned to overthink because it once saved you. As a child, your heightened attention to detail, your constant scanning of social cues, and your relentless mental rehearsal kept you safe. You avoided mistakes, prevented conflict, and earned fleeting moments of approval. It was a survival strategy. Here's the paradox. The very mechanism that once protected you now imprisons you. The hypervigilance that kept you alert now keeps you awake at night. The caution that helped you navigate uncertainty now fuels indecision. The habit that once gave you a sense of control now robs you of spontaneity, joy, and peace. You are addicted not to action but to thought itself. Overthinking is not just worrying. It is a compulsive, self-perpetuating addiction. And your brain, wired to seek certainty and reward prediction, loves it. Every thought loop releases tiny doses of dopamine, creating a false sense of security through mental rehearsal. You are caught in a cycle that feels like protection, but is in fact a subtle form of Overthinking is more than just worrying. It's a cycle of cognitive hyperarousal that keeps you trapped. Recognizing this helps the audience feel understood and hopeful about change. As it shows, they are not alone in this experience. You might recognize three core mechanisms at play. First, hypervigilance, a state of constant alertness learned in early life, when predicting the emotional landscape of caregivers or peers was necessary for survival. It rewires your nervous system to expect danger, even in neutral situations. Your mind becomes a radar for potential mistakes, conflicts, and rejection. Second, perfectionism as a coping strategy, rooted in parentification, or early responsibility taking. It teaches you that your worth is contingent on flawless performance. You overthink every email, every interaction, every decision, because the stakes, in your mind, are always existential. Third, rumination and neuroplasticity. Repeated mental rehearsal strengthens neural pathways associated with worry. Each loop reinforces the brain's belief that overthinking is necessary. It's addictive. The more you ruminate, the easier it becomes, until the act of overthinking itself feels unavoidable. Philosophers like Kierkegaard would call this the anxiety of possibility. The brain becomes obsessed with potential outcomes, unable to rest in the present moment. And the irony is stark. The more you try to control the uncertainty through thought, the more uncertainty controls you. The cost of overthinking is rarely external, it is profoundly internal. It is an invisible grief, a constant undercurrent of unease, a subtle theft of your own time and presence. You pay the price in small increments. A lost hour replaying a conversation, a day spent paralyzed by what-ifs, a week avoiding new experiences for fear of making the wrong choice. You sacrifice authenticity for perceived safety. You censor your impulses, your desires, your humor, and even your emotions. Every mental calculation is a quiet negotiation. Will this action preserve my dignity? Avoid conflict. Ensure I am liked. Carl Jung wrote about the shadow self, the part of us we hide from ourselves and others. For the overthinker, the shadow manifests as incessant doubt and self-criticism. It whispers that any choice could be catastrophic, that you are never fully prepared, that perfection is a moving target you can never reach. This is the philosophical weight of overthinking, the constant negotiation between freedom and fear, the fear of judgment, the fear of loss, the fear of imperfection. It turns simple acts like speaking, sending a message, or deciding on dinner into epic mental battles. Life itself becomes a chessboard, and you are trapped inside your own head, forever calculating moves that may never matter. As adults, the overthinking child manifests in predictable yet painful ways. You might recognize yourself or someone you love in these patterns. Paralysis by analysis. You delay decisions, endlessly weighing options, sometimes missing opportunities entirely. Relationship hypervigilance. You analyze every word your partner says, imagining hidden meanings or latent conflicts, which creates tension and miscommunication. Perpetual self-criticism. Every mistake, minor or imagined, becomes evidence of inadequacy. You replay errors obsessively, eroding confidence. Boundary confusion. Overthinking extends to saying yes when you want to say no, or explaining yourself excessively to avoid perceived judgment. Emotional exhaustion. The constant mental chatter keeps your nervous system in a low-level state of stress. You feel drained, irritable, or numb. Workaholic overcompensation. You overplan projects, double-check, triple-check, striving to control outcomes that are inherently uncertain. But here is the crucial insight. These patterns are not flaws. They are coping strategies that protected you. Witnessing them with kindness and without judgment is the first step toward freedom. This understanding helps readers feel more compassionate toward themselves and less critical. The unlearning begins when you observe these loops, label them without shame, and practice metacognition, thinking about your thinking. This helps you feel empowered and provides a clear step to break free from overthinking. Healing overthinking is less about stopping thought and more about retraining your nervous system. It is about choosing softness over hypervigilance, presence over prediction, and curiosity over control. You can take these steps to regain control and feel more at peace. Practical steps include inner child reparenting. Speak to the anxious, calculating part of yourself with compassion. Validate its past role and invite it to rest. Shadow work. Explore the fears and beliefs driving overthinking. Notice where perfectionism, fear of judgment, or avoidance of uncertainty takes hold. Mindfulness and somatic awareness. Engage in practices that ground you in the present moment. Pay attention to breath, body, and sensory input instead of looping through mental scenarios. Rituals of release, journaling, walking, or creating art helps clear your mind. Philosopher Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Overthinking does not define you. The loops, the fears, the compulsive mental rehearsals, they are not your essence. They are signals, guides, and invitations to greater self-awareness. You are not broken. You are not a slave to your mind. You are learning to become its master. Healing is not about stopping thought. It is about reclaiming your presence, your joy, and your freedom from mental captivity. So today, pause. Notice the swirl of thoughts without judgment. Give yourself permission to let one scenario go, one worry rest, one fear dissolve. Over time, your brain will learn that peace is not the absence of awareness, but the presence of choice. You are allowed to be still. You are allowed to be imperfect. You are allowed to rest. And in that rest, you may finally meet yourself, whole, unburdened, and alive. If you want more content that explores the psychology behind your patterns and the silent agreements you've never realized you made, please like and share this with someone who could benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't have to navigate this inner work alone. Remember, the goal isn't to fix you. It's to help you feel whole at last.